Hi, and welcome back to CVC Interviews. My name is Joyce Vaudrey from Vernon, and today's special guest is actually a tag team that I find a lot of fun. You're going to enjoy hearing more about Wreaths across America. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
So please introduce yourselves and a little something about what Wreaths across America are.
Okay, my name is Jana Assard, and I am a Bolton resident for my entire life. And Jennifer is going to talk more about how we got involved, but I would like to just say a disclaimer that we do not work for Wreaths Across America. We are volunteers, and whatever we say is our opinion, not the opinions of the organization.
Okay, well, thank you for clarifying that.
Thank you.
And I am Jennifer Baum. I also was born and raised in Bolton, Connecticut. Janet and I both ran into each other in Manchester at a Wreaths Across America ceremony. We are both very passionate about Wreaths Across America. We both ran into each other, and for 2 years in a row, we were putting wreaths on people's tombstones, and we both said, why doesn't Bolton have this? And we said, we can do this.
That's wonderful. I am aware of the organization, not fully. I did learn a lot on the website. I would like to clarify that you folks are still in the process of being mentioned on the national Wreaths Across America website, but you do have a Facebook account, correct?
Well, we do not have our own individual Facebook account, but Wreaths Across America did create a web page for us.
Oh, okay. Great.
So when you go onto the Wreaths Across America /BOLTCT, that will bring you directly to our page of where the sponsorships for the wreaths will go.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. So tell me about what the Wreaths Across America really is.
Okay.
Wreaths Across America, it happens on December 13th this year at noon, all the way across our nation. It's at all the cemeteries. Ours will be at Bolton Center Cemetery. It'll be at noon, and in front of every person's tombstone who was a veteran, you honor that veteran by placing the wreath on their tombstone, saying their name, and thanking them for their service.
That's beautiful. Very beautiful.
On Memorial Day, Jen and I went to the cemetery, and we walked the whole cemetery row by row. We wrote down every single veteran's name and their branch of service, so we would know, because we had to give Wreaths Across America a head count. And there was 130 veterans in Bolton Center Cemetery, and we were very surprised that only 3 of them were women. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Have you, well, look, also that cemetery goes way back. Like we're talking Civil War era.
Correct.
Correct.
So women weren't really known to be involved, but we should be recognized.
Yes.
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 So tell me, you said you two just ran into each other in Manchester at a ceremony. I was saying how I kind of ran into it when I saw the truck in Windsor, or South Windsor. So what made you say, I'd like to get involved?
We're both so passionate about the veterans and what all these people sacrifice for all of us. So we just feel like it would be a wonderful thing. There's so many families that we grew up with, and their fathers that were in the service, and we just want to recognize them.
We also feel it's very important for the younger generation to learn about the veterans. And so the motto of Wreaths Across America is to remember, honor, and educate. Yep. And so we would like to involve, we thought it would be a great community event, especially around Christmas. You know, everybody's about the gifts and Santa, and we were like, this would be a great event for the community to just get together. And the ceremony is probably about an hour long, but we also involve other organizations. We're going to involve the Scouts, and we're going to, all the businesses, and we just feel it's very important to just get the community together for a great cause.
That's wonderful. So we were also talking about the fact that it's not a political affiliation, it's not a religious affiliation, it's a recognition. And though for some people it's connected to religion and gift giving or recognition, it's just some place where everybody can recognize.
Everybody's united.
Because some gave all gave some.
Yes.
So it's a nice time to remember that.
Yes.
So what exactly happens at Wreaths Across America? A truck shows up, and take it from there for me.
You want me to talk?
The truck shows up and we have to count out all the wreaths for the amount of veterans that there are.
Right.
There's 3 that are placed at the town green.
5.
5, that's right, for all the branches of the military. And each person will take a wreath and they will put it, if it's a family member, they'll place it in front of their family's tombstone. And for the volunteers, they'll also do the same until every veteran is recognized.
And what time do people need to arrive on that date in order to help offload and get ready to start, like set up?
Well, actually, the wreaths will be at the cemetery because they deliver the wreaths 1 to 2 weeks before the ceremony.
Oh.
So they're going to be delivering them to my house. And
smell good there.
We have our husbands are recruited to help us
Yes.
take them off the truck
Yes.
and then to get them to the cemetery. So the wreaths will already be at the cemetery. The ceremony starts at noon. If people want to arrive at like 11:45, around 11:45, we will have everything. We will have chairs for the for elderly or anyone that needs to have a seat. And everyone will come and we will start the ceremony. We're going to have a guest speaker, and which we're still working a lot of logistics. But and then once we have the ceremony, we will tell people the proper way, because there is a proper way to place the wreath. You cannot cover the person's name,
Right.
and the bow has to be in a certain position, and everyone needs to know what the protocol is.
Right.
And so then all the volunteers, anybody there who wants to volunteer, will place a wreath on the tombstone. When Jennifer and I went to Manchester, there was so many volunteers. What did we do? About four
If that,
four
I
wreaths,
know.
if that. There was so many volunteers, and it's
It's a great
just
sign.
It is.
Yeah.
A lot of family members will be contacted.
Right. Yeah. So we're really hoping that people will be able to attend for their family member and place the wreath on their grandfather's tombstone.
That brings me up to what you mentioned. How do you access that data you've collected with the names and the branch of service and everything? That seems like gold right there.
Well, we spent many hours, writing down their branch of service, writing their names.
Yeah.
Every,
Is that how you're going to contact the families?
and we know so many of the families from growing up in town. So
Right. Yeah. We're probably going to go door to door also,
Yes.
because we do know the families, and most people don't have a mailbox anymore. So we can't put a flyer in the mailbox, and we can't open the
Right.
the newspaper box. We can't open the mailbox. So we're hoping to just knock on the door and just introduce ourselves
Right.
and hand them a flyer.
So they'll be posting any information on the screen for folks to contact you.
Correct.
But if someone knows they have a family member there, can they reach out to you?
absolutely.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
And that is one other thing I wanted to mention was, if people would like to sponsor a wreath, they can go onto the website, which you folks have, and they can buy it online. But they can also, if they would like to write a check, they can contact either one of us. We'll come and pick it up at their house, because we're going to be mailing a group of checks to Maine, where the wreaths are made.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And if people don't want to sponsor a wreath, they can make a donation, a cash donation, if they would like, and we would be happy to forward that to Wreaths Across America.
I was going to ask that. Some folks aren't available on Saturdays or the actual date of the event. So I know one year it was really bad. It was postponed or canceled or something. It's too much snow. But yeah, that's a great way to find out more about what you're doing. Get on that website. Who started the Wreaths Across America? Like, where did that come from?
That started from Maine, from Morrill, Worcester, in 1992.
I like how you said Worcester.
The right way.
The right way.
And last year, they had over 4,900 cemeteries participating
Yeah.
all across America.
Wow.
So it's a huge organization.
Yeah.
And there are other groups like yourself just in this general area. We cover 7 towns here, so people can get on that website and find out what's going on and more about the ceremony itself.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
And people can donate money. Is this a 501c charity?
Yes, it is.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Nonprofit.
And you volunteer all year long?
We are actually, so we started about a month ago, and we contacted Wreaths Across America, and that was one of my first questions was, are we ahead, are we behind? She actually told me we're a little bit behind the 8 ball, because the deadline for Wreaths Across America is December 1st. They don't take any orders after that. Our personal deadline is probably going to be around November 1st for us
Right.
to just regroup and get everything in order. And so right now is really like the crunch time for us to get all of our sponsorship.
And we hit the ground running, where we have spent a lot of time going to introduce ourselves to the businesses in Bolton and people who have lived in Bolton who have businesses and asking for their support.
Right.
And they can support you by putting up signs in their window.
Yes.
Cash donation, an in-kind donation maybe
Yes.
of some beverages for the day or something. I like seeing those community events get together. We've CVC does a lot of recordings, and one of my favorite ones my husband and I did was when they bring the fire trucks into Vernon Center.
Yes.
That's a blast. I love that. So it's like anything to do with the fire department or
Absolutely.
anything.
Right.
I love it. I
The
love
fire
it.
department's supposed to be
Very
supporting and involved in it, and they'll fly the flag.
Right. We're hoping. Yeah.
We're hoping for that day.
What do you mean fly the flag?
Fly the American flag
Oh, the
from
American-
the ladder
on the truck.
Oh, that'd be
for,
beautiful.
for part of the ceremony.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be on Cross Route 5 would be. Well, I don't know where the Bolton one. What was the address for the Bolton?
It's Hebron Road in
Hebron Road.
Bolton.
Okay.
Yep.
It's right next to St. Mary's Church.
Correct.
I'm still learning the roads around here. I still have to use my GPS a
That's
lot.
okay.
On Wednesday nights, our Green sponsors concerts in the summer, and the first one was supposed to be last Wednesday night,
Right.
and we were going to go and hand out flyers and talk to people, but it was canceled because of the heat. So that's where we're going to be this Wednesday
I've
night.
barely been out of the house.
Right,
We're over here talking about December snowstorms, and I'm
right. One thing I'd like to mention is Bolton has 2 cemeteries. We have Bolton Center Cemetery, and we have Coreyville Cemetery, which is over on
44.
44. Jennifer and I decided we are only going to do Bolton Center Cemetery this year because it's a huge undertaking and we really want it to be done correctly. And so we are going to focus just on Bolton Center Cemetery.
We will read the names of everybody,
Every veteran,
every veteran at Coreyville,
Okay.
so that
Right.
they're recognized.
right? And we are going to say if anyone would like to volunteer probably next year to do Coreyville, they can just contact us and we'll put them in touch with our regional director at Wreaths Across America.
don't wait till June though, because that's a
Right,
little late.
right,
You're right.
right, exactly.
But you guys have blazed the path now, so if
Yes.
someone wants to come in right behind you, you've already done a lot of the legwork,
Right.
literally and
You're right.
figuratively. So that would make it a little bit easier if someone wants to join.
Yes.
One of my favorite places for getting resource for volunteers is the Honor Society. Because you get high school students that are like, I don't know what to do. And you
Right.
contact local schools and say, hey, if
Exactly.
your Honor Society needs to do some volunteer hours,
Right.
Right.
That's a great idea.
Yep, the community service hours, usually the high school, will be
Yes.
contacting them also.
yeah, let them know.
Yeah,
I have a dear friend of mine I used to work with when I was teaching, and Eileen McNamara, and she was really big on getting the kids involved and everything. So I'm very
Yes.
happy to pass on what I've learned.
Right.
And it gives them that history lesson that you wanted.
That's
and
right.
And the other thing too, as an ex-social studies teacher, they love to hear people come in and give talks about our history and how it's evolved and changed, and then you look back on it, so how it repeats. It might be a
Right.
nice idea too. What are some of the places you'll be at so that people can see you? Do you plan on attending other events this summer? The music events on Wednesdays.
correct.
Correct. Yes. We did talk to the library to do a presentation, a town presentation, but the director was on vacation, so we have to follow up with that.
Okay.
Senior center.
Yes.
We'll go to.
We're trying to do a little
Yep.
presentation at the senior center. That would be great.
Excellent.
So, yes.
And
so,
see when school begins and see, we'll talk to the principal there also.
right.
So that may
They're
be the
there
teachers.
now. They're
Yes.
there all summer.
Yes.
Don't wait till September.
Our very first approval process was attending a Board of Selectmen meeting
Yes.
and getting it approved. So they all are familiar with what we're doing also.
Excellent. Wow, you guys are really like hitting it well. Is there someone that's been guiding you through all the different steps?
No.
No, we've just been heading it off, but we're very similar, and so
Yes.
we're great. We've been working great together, and we just throw ideas off of each other. And when we hit town last week, the 30 businesses. I mean, we were laughing in the car and talking about
Yes.
things, and we're like, "Oh, that was great," or "This, let's change this,"
Yeah.
or so we're very similar.
Yeah.
So it's good.
I heard you guys have known each other for a few years since you were.
Oh, yeah, since childhood.
Right.
Oh,
we,
my
we were born and raised in Bolton.
Yes,
So.
and our daughters went to school
Yes.
together, and we're friends. So.
Yes.
Excellent. I love that. That's a great thing about these small towns. You know everybody. You grow
Right.
up together. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It is.
What are some of the other organizations that you'd like to see brought in to this event?
Well, the event really isn't huge, and it's actually kind of somber. So we're figuring with the scouts and the guest speaker and the someone from each branch, the family member putting a wreath on the stand, that we really don't. You kind of want to keep it somewhat limited on what the activities are for that ceremony.
Sure, sure.
And we would do whatever Manchester did last year, which was
Right.
pretty simple.
It was.
And do you have mailings that you send out, and, emails or anything that if someone wants more information?
We did put it. Stacy Morianis, who is a 3J's member
Yeah.
of 3J's Restaurant, she did put our flyer on the Everything Bolton website.
Oh, great.
So we are getting a
Which
little
was
bit of
great for her to do that. Yeah.
right. So and she sponsored some wreaths, so that was awesome. So, but we've been very well received in the community. People have been like, "Wow, this is great," and a lot of people have not heard of Wreaths Across America, and so they're really excited about it. And so we're hopeful that the day is going to be a great event.
Yeah, my husband was. I think I mentioned that. He's like, "What is that?" I was like, "Oh, well." And I only had a sliver of information. I went on the website, and then I was able to, hey, look at this and look at this. It's we get a wreath every year from an aunt, so just the idea that it's. I know she thought of us, and
Yes.
it's winter specific.
Right, right.
And it
Yes.
smells great. I love it.
It does.
But it's got a lot of great sentiment to it.
Right.
And when you find out who the speaker will be, you'll be able to
Share that. Yes.
share that with us.
We haven't confirmed yet with her.
Well, we know how that can be.
Right.
And you were starting to say,
I just wanted to share a little bit on a personal note. My father-in-law is buried in Arlington Cemetery. And so Arlington is a huge sponsor of Wreaths Across America. So what we do is we sponsor a wreath for him, and we always buy one for an unknown soldier. And so that is we've been kind of sharing that with a lot of people in town, because we do, in the backside of the cemetery, most of those people don't even have family members in Bolton anymore because it was so long ago.
Right.
So we are sharing that in the hopes that people will do that they'll buy a wreath for their grandfather or grandmother, but then also buy an extra one just so that everybody in the cemetery will have a wreath. But we've also had a couple sponsors that said, if you're short at the end, come see me.
Right.
So we are very confident
They've been very
that
supportive
every
so far.
every veteran will have a wreath.
oh, that's wonderful. How many names did you capture?
130.
130.
Yep, we went through and I wrote down, and Jennifer read the name. The name spelled it for me, and the branch of
Branch of
service.
service.
And that's how we spent Memorial Day together.
Yep.
And we
It's
always
appropriate.
We felt good about it, though.
Yeah.
It was.
It's a
We said
beautiful
we're
thing.
doing community service.
right.
You know.
And
Right.
We ran into two gentlemen. Both were veterans that talked to us for about an hour each, and we shared our information, and they both plan on coming.
Yeah.
And they were just like, this is awesome. Like, you guys are starting a great thing. And, you know, and especially the older gentleman, he had shared so many stories with us. And it was nice just to hear. And he was happy to talk.
Sure.
You know?
They had stories to share. Yeah, I've been to Arlington and the Vietnam Veterans Wall and several others. So it's a different feeling.
It is.
When you're there. Yeah.
It really is.
Yes.
It's solemn.
Yes.
Yes.
When I first pulled up to even the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall, it was like, it's smack dab in the middle of everything. But when you get into that area, there,
Yes.
Yes.
and even when you walk around, because then there's the Women's Memorial, and it's, it's a very beautiful, solemn,
Right.
important.
Yes.
And it's a
It
great
is.
thing to do with your children.
Yes.
Absolutely.
My father-in-law's service in Arlington was unbelievable. They had a horse-drawn carriage. And it was like, oh, you want to talk about a feeling of solemn. But everyone should make it a point to go to Arlington in their lifetime, especially if they can
That's
around
true.
Christmas, because every headstone has a wreath on it.
That would be beautiful.
It is.
It makes you appreciate.
It does. It does. Luckily we went when the weather wasn't too hot, but 5 more degrees warmer and I would have been a wilted flower. I was like, this is, but it's there's all different. You can take tours.
Yes.
And they'll tell you all about the different sections and the different years and everything. I
Yep.
found it
Yes.
fascinating.
Yes.
My husband and I are really big too on doing Gettysburg and a lot
Yes.
of Civil War
Right.
battles.
Yes.
And so everything all
Yes.
ties into our
It
history.
does.
Right.
And respecting and honoring what people went through.
Right. And at Arlington, at the Unknown Soldier gravesite, a lot of people don't know this, but there is someone there guarding that tombstone 24/7, and they just stand
Yep.
and guard it.
Yeah.
And that's something too.
It is. And when they change off,
Yes.
we got there in time
Oh,
to
you
see
got
that.
to see changing in
Yeah.
the guard.
Yes, and it was very impressive. And even the marble was like you could see where it was scuffed in the ears where they're always walking. But to get that as your assigned duty
Right.
is a very high honor.
Yes.
So these guys were like the top of the top of the top that we were watching.
Yes.
It's something everybody should see.
And if you can't get to DC, then you can show your love and support with Wreaths Across America.
That's right.
Yes.
Now, are you planning on doing like meetings, or if you haven't really gotten that far with, if you have other people that you're going to coordinate with for
Well,
support?
We are, if anyone is asking to volunteer, we are just accepting them. It's
Okay.
almost, I
Right.
feel like it's almost easier for us to just do it ourselves because it's such a small cemetery.
Got
But we do want volunteers to come to the event to put the wreaths on the gravestones. That's probably our biggest thing we can use help
Right.
with in support of the sponsoring wreaths. So we get enough.
And if anybody's watching that has an event coming up, that they'd say, sure, come and hand out your flyers.
That
Absolutely.
would be great.
Absolutely.
We'll do it.
There's a lot of cool things going on. Watch CVC. There's that schedule of events. That's how I found out about this place where you can learn how to use the cameras and the control booth. And then you can do your own shows, or you can get in front of it like I like to be. I haven't been behind the camera in 4 years. But it's a great way to help highlight your community too, is getting involved like this.
Yes.
So I really hope that if I'm not available to record it for CVC, I really hope one of our many volunteers,
Yes.
maybe you two should take the class.
Maybe.
Then you
Maybe.
can sign out the cameras and you can
If
record
we have
your
some
own.
time, some extra time.
Well, I thank you very much for coming in today, and we're going to show some photos and information that you've provided for us here. And if there's an event that you'd like us to know about, please get in touch with Melanie at CVC, and she'd be happy to add that in.
Okay.
Thank you for having
Yes.
us. We appreciate it.
And
Yes,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much. So thank you all for joining us at CVC Interviews, where you too can get the word out about an event you might have coming up. We especially love nonprofits, and just let us know what's going on in our community so that we can attend. Thank you all.
Wreaths Across America is an organization that is like no other. It almost touches every person in the United States at some level.
The mission is to remember, honor, and teach. What we give our kids that we've learned from the past is what's going to help them form the future.
It's important to teach not just the kids, but everybody.
We need to share that freedom isn't free.
Wreaths Across America started when my husband, who was in the wreath business, had too many wreaths.
We had about a truckload left over that year, which is about 5,000. I mean, we was trying to think of what we could do with them that would do maybe some good to some people. Thought about Arlington National Cemetery.
He's very patriotic. He just wanted to say thank you.
Out of respect for what we have in this country.
So it became a family tradition.
And it just struck a chord, I guess. It went around the world.
I remember when I started, there's only a few people. And look at the turnout.
It's the heart of the volunteer that makes our mission grow.
And I like to say we have a heartbeat in every community. It grows because of the patriotism that is still alive and well all over the country.
The Wreaths Across America wreath laying is really, it's a celebration of life. That one wreath symbolizes one family that was able to smile because of the generous donations.
That's him right here. Because everyone has a story. There's a story behind every name that you see here.
His name was Germany Vargas.
Isaac Thomas Cortez.
Bryce Kenneth Bowers, my son.
My older brother Billy was E9 in the United States Air Force.
William Guy Neal. Just by saying their name, we're remembering them. We're remembering the sacrifice that they made for this country.
January 18th, 2005.
It's really important that people understand that Wreaths Across America is a year-round mission.
My ultimate goal is to place a wreath on every single American veteran's grave, regardless of where it is.
But we're among so many heroes here today that have fought for our freedom.
There are American soldiers buried at over 24 different locations across the world that may not have family members that are able to visit them.
Edward D. Fogden.
You are sent over to save us, and you die in a place no one has ever heard of. And that's your life.
It's our goal to one day be able to say we placed a wreath at every headstone of our American military members buried overseas.
We have a saying here that you die twice. First when you stop breathing, and the second time when your name is spoken for the very last time.
The biggest fear Gold Star families have that their child will be forgotten.
A mother's love never dies. It never dies.
Regina, we thank you for your service.
It doesn't matter how they died. It just matters that they fought for our freedom.
Makes me feel extremely proud.
Their character, their sacrifice is not just our past, it's our future. And the foundation of this country was built on the lives of those men and women that we choose to honor.